So what would you advise, especially now that the Constitution amendment is still ongoing? We're expecting that sometimes in 2018 they would have been done with it. What would you advise the legislators that are looking at those amendments now to be doing with regards to security votes?
I was on air on your Sheun's program about 3 weeks ago, and I did say that the 1999 Constitution is a rotten egg. You cannot build something on nothing. You cannot amend what is already bad. What Nigeria needs is a change of constitution. A constitution that will not allow a single individual to have so much power. That will not allow a single individual to be controlling the funds of the state or the country alone. Do you know that a governor will just phone his chief accountant, oh, I need so, and they give it to him. The fear is that if I don't give him, I might be sacked. Because the power to sack resides in him, the power to spend money to do all rest. You see, the 1999 Constitution, I'm not saying that the reasoning for bringing a presidential system in 1979 was bad, but it is too expensive. Let me tell you this. One of the military leaders in Nigeria 20 years ago had a brainwave and created 36 states in Nigeria for nothing, without thinking how much it will cost to maintain 36 states. From 21 states, he had a brainwave because he wanted to be president. So he thought he could satisfy all the ethnic groups who are there and created that. That is the problem we have in Nigeria. At least 28 of these 36 states cannot maintain themselves. We go to the Paris Fund that we should use for development. We are handing them to the governors to pay arrears of workers' salary.
So that's the basis.
Does that make sense?
That forms the basis of corruption.
Does that make sense? It does not. A state should be viable enough, but they are not. We now have to go back, as I said, either by way of a referendum, ask ourselves, do we want to continue with this system of 1999? And if it is no, then the president should set up a committee and send it to the House to approve. Of course, the House will not want to approve it because they are the greatest beneficiaries of the 1999 Constitution.
But is there any provision for a referendum in our laws?
Let me tell you, there is no specific provision for a referendum, but it's a general principle of governance that if a matter arises in any country, that there is no provision or you need a change, then you put it to the people, because democracy is the government of the people, by the people. So there's nothing wrong in asking for a referendum. It happened in England. Brexit. It's not in their constitution, it's not in the common law doctrine. It's a new terminology. But they wanted to, the front line used something now, restructuring. What is restructuring?
So you'd rather have what you call not restructuring, but instead have a referendum? Will that solve the problems of agitation?
I want restructuring, but not the type of restructuring politicians are craving for. Kanu, Biafra, Adebanjo, Dudua, all these things. No. Nigeria has undertaken 7 restructuring within the last 100 years. People don't appreciate that. When Nigeria was created in 1914, with the amalgamation of the Northern and South, and became an entity, by 1952, there was regionalization. That was a restructuring. Because before, the colonialists were governing us under 26 councils, provincial councils they call them, with residents, 26 or 28 for the whole Nigeria. They now decided That was the first restructuring in Nigeria, to create 3 regional governments. By 1956, they decided to make those regional governments self-governing. The North said, no, I'm not ready. The West and the East agreed, we will want self-government. And it was self-government, devolution of power, resources, many things were granted them. And each was developing at its own pace. That was the first restructuring. The second restructuring is when commotion, civil war came in, and Gowon decided to restructure Nigeria again from the 4 regions to 12 states. That's a restructuring to allow, everybody to be part of governance. In 1986, in 1976, Obasanjo's government, Muritala's government, increased and restructured Nigeria again to 19 states.